Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm the Obscure Angel PT, and for today what I have in here, it is a new game called Ashen. So Ashen, it is developed by the A44. This is a new developer team, and this is not entirely indie because they have a publisher, despite the publisher is kind of indie. It's Annapurna Interactive. They are I believe the developers of games like What Remains of the Eden Finch, but nonetheless the A44, it is the developers of this game, and this is actually their first game. The game, it is using Unreal Engine 4, so as expecting, this game favors NVIDIA hardware, and it can be pretty demanding on AMD hardware as expected. For now, you can't get this game on Steam. It's not available on Steam. For now, it is an exclusive to the Epic Store, but I believe it will come to Steam later. This is because Steam takes 30% of the revenue for each sale they make. So on Epic Store they only take 12%. Well, in fact, in Steam they have to pay 30% plus 5% of the Unreal Engine 4, so they need to pay 35% in fees, while if they use Epic Store they only have to pay something like 12%. So I think it's understandable why for now this game it is exclusive to the Epic Store. So let's now take a look on my settings that I used to play. So I'm playing the game with 1080p. I'm using motion blur, but this is pretty much optional. I know that many people don't like it, so you can disable and get 1 or 2 extra frames. And I'm using a custom setting, which is mostly just median settings, but I did raise the anti-aliasing to high, and I'm using texture quality to high settings because this game it is not very demanding on the VRAM, and anti-aliasing on high enables TAA. If you don't like it, you can use median or low. So I've decided to test the game with multiple settings. While maximum settings and the high settings have very close results, what happens is both of these settings did drop from 30 frames per second in areas with more dense vegetation. So I'm not really sure how demanding this game can get, but with median high settings I got an average of 41, with a 1% of 32. This median high is the settings that you are going to see throughout the video, the ones that I did show you before on the options menu. But if you reduce the game to median settings, you get 4 extra frames on average and 2 extra frames on the 1% low. Reducing the game to low do provide a great boost in performance because it disables shadows and most of the stuff, so you get an experience above 60 frames per second, but it looks pretty dull. Also, I did use 80% of resolution scaling, which makes the game close to 900p. This, of course, with the low settings, but throughout the video what you are going to see, it is the game being played with median settings, textures on high, anti-aliasing on high, and using motion blur. Alright? So Ashen, it is a game with a very unique visual style, as you can see. This looks like a painting. The characters don't have a face, which is kind of weird if you ask me. So everything looks like a painting. Many people might think, oh, okay, this graphic sucks. I understand why many people might say this, and I do at some point agree with them. This sucks a little bit, and actually, despite the game looks like this, the game it is actually very demanding. Alright? So continuing to the journey, this game it is pretty much a Dark Souls clone. Alright, it's not entirely a Dark Souls clone, but it retains pretty much all the gameplay from Dark Souls. This looks entirely like Dark Souls, not on the visual style, but completely on gameplay. On gameplay wise, this is completely Dark Souls. So yeah, it's kind of a Dark Souls ripoff, but actually the gameplay it is very well done. It's not a stupid ripoff or anything like it. It's a very decent ripoff. It plays very well. You can actually jump. It feels that your character it is you know, more lightweight. It feels that everything it's kind of a little bit more quicker than Dark Souls, probably a little bit more close to Bloodborne gameplay. I don't know. It seems that it's something of a mix between Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1. It's not too fast, but it's not also too slow. And it's logically much more slower than Nioh. Anyway, it's a very big pleasure to play this game. In fact, I think the game it is very pleasure to be played, despite it might be a ripoff or not of Dark Souls. But if you are a fan of this type of gameplay, let me tell you that it's actually very enjoyable to be playing this game. But yeah, the visual style might not be for everyone, and I fully understand that. Alright, so yeah, what's the price of this game? Well, that's the most complicated stuff about this game. The game costs 40 euros on Epic Store, and right now it is not available on Kinguin for you to buy. I don't really know why. I believe that probably Epic Store doesn't accept activation of keys. I don't know. I didn't try too much of the Epic Store, so I don't have too much of an opinion about it. But yeah, for now the game costs 40 bucks. I believe it's not a bad price, since most AAA titles nowadays cost around 50 or 60s, and I believe that this game it is actually very well done. But I believe that at other point this game only takes 12% of the fees, so I believe that this game could be a little bit more cheaper. But nonetheless, the game it is amazing, so I don't feel wrong for them to be asking 40 bucks. It's just a shame that you can find keys outside Epic Store. At least on Kinguin it's not available, so many people that use Graymarket keys and stuff like this might not be able to find keys for this game, so you need to really buy it for now from Epic Store. Or you can wait. At some point the game will be released on Steam. I'm almost 100% sure about it. It might be a little bit later, but I'm pretty sure the game will be released on Steam, and throughout that time you can probably buy the game through Steam or through Graymarket stores if you intend to. But in my opinion, if you care about the developers, if you care about indie games, buy the game through Epic Store, Steam, Greenman Gaming, Humble Store, any official shop. Buy through there, because indie developers actually get a good revenue from decent stores like this one. And Kinguin, despite you might get access to the game, the reality is some of the keys are stolen, and it costs more money to the developers to try to understand what the hell is going on than actually what they get from the game, alright, from these stores. Alright, so guys, thank you a lot for watching. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video. I will be playing throughout a little bit more, 5 minutes of gameplay, and that's it. So guys, again, thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Give me my hammer, so I might awaken this hunchless spark to the ritual stone. Bind your spirit to this place,